Lance Tom.
Yo, and episode 3 of the Cool and Calm podcast. Tonight we'll be talking about hip hop duos, some of the greatest, in our opinion, that came out. And, we just want to talk about some stuff, kind of like the impact that they had on hip hop, like where they stood at the time, the differences in their styles and everything, and if these duos could exist without one another, you know?
Yes, sir.
So like talking about duos, like what are some famous duos that you think of, you know?
Um, Eric B and Rakim, of course. P Rock and CL Smooth.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
Salt and Pepper, Big
Mob Mob
Timers,
Deep,
Mob Deep, UGK,
UGK. Ooh, ooh. Yeah.
Jazzy Jeff, and then Will Smith.
Oh, and the Fresh Prince. Yeah, 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 yeah.
There you go.
That's also another one.
Most our personal favorite is let's see, Most Def and Taleb,
Ah,
aka Black Star.
Black Star, legendary, legendary. And
Super legend.
and we'll also get into like the main groups that we want to talk about too. We specifically picked out three, and then each of these three kind of come from a distinct location, a city or an area. So we feel that they have very distinct sounds and a lot of differences in styles. But before we get that, I mean, how you been, Lance? What you been up
I've been
to?
good. Been chilling.
Quarantine,
Been
right? Quarantine
quarantined.
chilling.
Yeah, quarantine
Yup,
chilling.
yup, yup.
Pretty excited for the Rick Ross and Two Chains battle. Is coming tomorrow.
Yo,
So
the verses.
the versus battle on Apple. Oh man,
Oh, yo. Hey, real talk, that's tough though because I feel like in terms of like an album, putting together an album and everything, I don't think Two Chainz has ever dropped anything like great. Like nothing really comes to mind like when you just initially think about it. But if
very
you will
true.
just go
Yeah,
hits like a Two Chainz
he's
feature, like
he's got a lot.
he's got a
I heard
lot.
Rick Ross is gonna release an unreleased song with him and Kanye West. So I'm gonna see
Oh
about that.
shit. Okay.
Really want to see. I don't know if it's like a Devil in a New Dress part two, but I'm really excited for that part.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, but oh my god, just thinking about that versus battle though, like Rick Ross got hits, man
Oh
got
yeah,
hits.
Ashton Martin music,
Oh,
hustle every
classic.
day. I'm hustling.
Oh, that's another classic.
Usual Suspects by Nas. If
Oh,
you haven't heard that song, that's one of my favorite songs. I
yo,
love that. I love that beat.
it will be
Um,
dope. It will be a dope battle. Yo, what you think
def-
about that? Was it Snoop and DMX battle?
man, that set the bar, bro.
Yo,
That's why I'm so
that's
excited for these versus battle now on Apple Music. Like it's insane. DMX and Snoop Dogg together was so funny. And, it's a tie. It's a tie to me, man. I mean, Snoop Dogg had his, DMX had his, but both of them had like great energy. And man, it was like a celebration for both of them because they've been in the game for so
true,
long, you know.
true. You really, if you weren't really, if you're not a huge fan of hip hop, and you kind of just like you're a casual listener and you're familiar with a lot of rappers and you just look at the two and then you just think initially it's like, oh, Snoop Dogg, DMX. DMX has like what, two hits, and then you
Mm,
think of Snoop Dogg like his whole discography and everything. But like really, if you really think about it, yo, DMX underrated rapper,
exactly,
underrated
bro.
for that whole era, that generation.
I mean, Rough Riders was the one, bro. They signed my favorite rapper, Jin,
Jin,
the first
yo,
Asian rapper on Rough Riders. Come on, man, Rough Riders, and
yo,
Jin was on there
man,
for a little bit. That's kind of
yo,
ridiculous.
people. I mean, you think of Jin, you think of the fucking got rice jokes and shit like that, but like, you think about like the grind time fucking freestyle battles and shit. Yo, Jin would body fools, and one of the
No,
most
yeah.
legendary, I think, or in my opinion, the most legendary was that Jin versus Mr. Fab.
Oh,
Yo,
yeah,
that
I remember.
was that was what's up.
That's crazy, man. It was good times. It was good
Good
times back there. You
times,
know what I'm
good
saying?
times. Yo, but you
You don't get like
listening? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you don't get like that no more. You know what I'm
Nah, you
saying?
don't. You don't. Not especially with this Rona, with all these people fucking around. Stay your ass at home. Wear a
I
fucking
know,
mask
dude.
when you outside. And fucking Wash
so we
your
can have those
hands.
times again. So
I
we can have
know.
those times again,
You
man.
know, we're out here in the Bay Area, and I feel like California is suffering, is fucking up because you motherfuckers down in SoCal, y'all motherfuckers don't know how to act down there. Oh, but I
Hey,
heard there
Vegas,
was, there was that fire in Riverside, so prayers out to everyone there. I hope everyone's doing okay.
yeah,
That's
Vegas ain't no
crazy.
different. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy around the world, but
Facts, facts.
we gotta keep our head up.
True, true. So you listen to any new music right now? Listen to any old music right now?
Uh, yeah, a couple things since the last time we talked. Pop Smoke's new album
Mm-hmm.
came out, was produced by 50 Cent, which was really good. I actually like that. I
I
see a
didn't.
lot of people use that on their Instagram stories, so
I didn't
it
know
must be.
it was produced by 50. I didn't know 50 produced.
Yeah, Pop Smoke is actually inspired by 50 Cent, so he uses a lot of 50 Cent's
Mm-hmm.
lyrics and style and like
Mm-hmm.
energy. So yeah, it was only right, I think, if 50 Cent produced it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Juice World's album came out a while back. Rest in
Mm-hmm.
peace.
Yeah, that
Uh,
Juice That World album's fire. I listen to that thing a couple times a week.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's good work. You know what I'm saying? And I know Juice World and The Weeknd's going to come out with a
Mm-hmm.
song this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for Friday. So I mean, look out for that as well too.
Yo,
But
oh fuck, helicopter flying over my house, cuz. Um, yo, so I got into a little argument or a debate with my brother. He told me he don't fuck with Juice World. He says like Juice World's hella bad, and I was like, like you think about like where Juice World came from and like the time period. It was like when the SoundCloud rappers were really popping, and the whole like mumble rap thing. And then
exactly,
once like the
exactly.
mumble rap kind of died out, it was like, how can I salvage my career? How can I still say this auto tune? And then every
Hmm.
motherfucker be using the auto tune, and he's just like, yo, when you listen to Juice World, he tries to sing, but his voice doesn't match what he's trying to say, and he uses auto tune to like, to try to make himself sound good. And I was like, all right, well, like he was dogging me for liking the fucking album. I was just like, yo, I just fuck with the album because like it makes me feel good. Like I like it. And he's like,
Yeah.
I asked him, I was like, so who's someone you think is better? And he says Roddy Rich, and I was like, Roddy Rich. I was like, you fucking joking, boy. No,
I
Roddy
mean,
Rich is
both
cool.
of them go pretty good artists, but I
Yeah.
always take this from heart. What you said to me a while back when you put Migos as your favorite album, you're like, it's not about like the artist and it's more like having fun with the music. You know what I'm
That's
saying? You
true. Yeah.
gotta have diversity, and I always took that to heart when you said that to me. Like I remember you texted me that when I asked you like, why'd you put Migos as your top 5 albums,
Yeah.
for that year. You know what I'm saying? So I learned to open my mind to music and open my ears, because there's a lot of great artists out there that that's music's for everybody. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Music's for
Mhm.
different vibes,
True.
different feelings, and I honestly that opened my eyes to like listen to more shit.
Yeah. If anyone's listening to this right now or later, you know, basically it's like I'm not expecting Migos to be like Run DMC or a Tribe Called Quest, drop like some super heavy lyrical shit. Maybe they can, you know,
Hmm.
but for I appreciate their music for what it is. Like to go out, like to have some fun. Of course, you're gonna hear a couple of their songs come out. It's all bangers and stuff. And sometimes you gotta step away from just the super controversial shit. Sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes you
Yeah,
just want some shit you can get down to. Sometimes you want some shit you can slap in the car. Volume up, hella loud, bass, hella loud, all of that shit. You know what I mean?
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely,
So,
man.
what about so what about some old stuff you listening to? I've been listening to a lot of Outkast, a lot of
Uh,
Outkast.
I've been listening to a lot of clips, bro, ever since Pusha T. I've been on a heavy Pusha T hype ever since I've been finding his vinyls at
Oh,
this record store.
you've been finding his vinyls?
Yeah, I bought the Daytona vinyl and then his King Push vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Still looking for the other two albums that he has as well too. Those are really hard to find. Fuck, dude.
I can
But
imagine. Yo, dude,
yeah,
I heard vinyl sales are like surpassing CD sales right now, which is
that's very true,
crazy.
man. That was like last year that happened, so it's kind of it's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I collect vinyls since last year and I loved it. But yeah, Pusha T's been on my mind for a long, long time ever since like the beef been going on. He did have a song on Pop Smoke's album about like Drake's beef again, but they took that shit out.
Oh, they
Uh,
did.
you know, because of
Oh,
controversy and all that shit. So.
what controversy? What controversy you talking about? Let the beef be had, man. Let that shit be had.
Hey man, Pusha T don't let up, you know.
Yeah, but talking about Clips, so you would say they're one of the greatest duos, or one of your favorite duos? I guess we should say.
Definitely, man. Really one
Mm-hmm.
underrated group in
Yeah,
my
yeah,
opinion. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? They had bangers. They had produced by Neptunes. It was a great group. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Uh,
so let's get into it. So tell me about Clips, man. Like, all right. So let's say if I didn't know anything about the Clips, when did they originate? What year?
uh, they they originated back in 1992.
92.
Both of them are brothers. Of course, you know Pusha T.
Mm-hmm.
His brother is Malice at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to his next name in a few minutes. But
Okay.
basically both brothers from Virginia.
Okay.
Um, Malice was the one that rapped first. Pusha T followed. Malice is about 5 years older than Pusha T, so Malice pretty much taught everything Pusha T
Okay.
had already knew. You know what I'm saying? They actually were close friends with the Neptunes,
Mm-hmm.
also Pharrell and then Timbaland. Basically, you know, one day Pusha T went with his brother to the studio. Pharrell, you know, talked to Pusha T. Was like, you know, this is your brother. Like, basically, man, if you guys made a group together, you guys would be so fire. And Pusha T was like, you know, I got a couple of rhymes under my belt. You know, I don't specifically know the rhymes that he spoke to Pharrell, but you know, it made Pharrell wake up like, oh shit, this is like maybe a top contender with his brother to make a group together,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how Clips was formed back in 1992. Basically, let's see. Basically, they had trying to have their first album. It was called Exclusive Audio Feature in 1999.
Okay.
That was supposed to be their first album. They were signed to Electric Records at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Their first single was "The Funeral," but it failed to catch success. Its label like Electro decided to indefinitely shelf the album. So the album never came out. The Funeral single came out on YouTube.
Okay.
Basically, well, not well before it was YouTube. It's now on YouTube now, but it
Mm-hmm.
was a video on it. The Funeral actually caught Pharrell's eyes. Basically, it was like, yeah, we can do something with this. You know, that single, you know, actually formed Clips. So Pharrell signed him to his record deal. Basically, pretty much, you know, made their beats, produced their album. First single was actually Grindin'. Came out May 14, 2002.
Grinding. That's the song everyone knows.
Yeah.
The ones that even if you don't know that song, every kid around the world, you know, fucking grab a pen, pencil, some shit, just on the desk, just trying to
Right? Like
imitate
in
the beat.
detention. Exactly. Pretty dope beat produced by Pharrell. His chorus.
Mm-hmm.
The next single was When Was the Last Time? Was dropped on July 30th, 2002.
Okay.
Both singles were top chart hitters. I think both of them, you know, they were like top tens almost of the time when they dropped. Uh, Soon after that, I mean, Lord Willing came out August 20th, 2002. Like I said, produced by the Neptunes. The rest was history, you know. Lord Willing it's actually one of my favorite albums.
Okay.
Um,
That's their
uh,
second album, or technically
First
first,
album.
first.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, I would say first album because the other
Okay.
one got shelved. So let's
Okay.
say first
All
album.
right. All right.
Um, I
Yo.
mean, as you know, the album cover is basically two of them, and then Jesus is behind them, riding in the
Mm-hmm.
Cadillac. Dope cover. I mean, it's iconic cover for my eyes.
True.
It
All
did
right.
numbers. It did great. Um, Basically, I read on an interview that Pusha T was like, you know, I didn't feel famous enough or I didn't feel well known until he performed with Justin Timberlake at the MTV Music Awards
And
for
this,
this first solo singles, "Like I Love You." I don't know if you remember that song.
like, so this is like early 2000s, like 2001, 2002, around that time.
Yeah, around
Okay.
that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said where? MTV
At the
Music Awards.
MTV Award.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
All right. So that's dope. So pause real quick. So you mentioned the Neptunes a lot. So and Pharrell. So where? Clips. So are they from Virginia too? They're from that area. Did you say that? Did you mention that earlier?
Hmm.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, all right. So they kind of like got this whole little thing going on, and just on the side, real quick. So do you feel that like the Neptunes are also another legendary duo? Maybe not like in the rap world. Well, yeah, in the rap world, but just as like producers. Would you say that they're up there?
Oh yeah, definitely, of course.
Okay.
Without the Neptunes, I don't think the Eclipse was even be existed.
Okay.
Because they're, man, you could definitely tell if you go back to Pharrell's music and then you go back to the Eclipse. This is a Pharrell like sounding album. Like his production is really crazy. It's up there with Timbaland,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and Kanye West in my eyes. You know what I'm saying?
That's oof.
Um,
That's oof.
Pharrell's really slept on, and
Yeah.
I'm really mad sometimes that people don't see Pharrell as like a top contender for producing. But I think he's up there. I mean, if it wasn't for him, like I said, the Clips wouldn't be who they were because of the beats.
Hey, shout out to DJ for tuning in right now. Yo,
What's
what's
up,
up,
DJ? How
man?
you doing?
Yeah, but all right. So continuing with their discography and everything. So we talked about first two albums, next album, or
Next
like any
album
of
with
their other works.
yeah. So in between the works of, let's say, Lord Willin and Hell Hath No Fury, which is the third album, there was a mixtape that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for reasons unknown, deals for the record deals, blah blah blah, this, blah blah, blah that, they decided to provide a mixtape called the Re-Up Gang.
Okay.
Uh, it was Eclipse new material through the legendary Got It for Cheap mixtape series. So they had mixtapes before
So
their first album, basically.
so
So
sorry. So during this time period, are they still signed with Elektra or
no, they actually Electra, they decided not to go with Electra and they signed with Pharrell. So at the
Pharrell's?
time right now
Okay.
they signed with
So
Pharrell.
they're under his label. All right.
Hmm. Yeah. So basically they released it. I mean, because they couldn't do anything about it for the record deal for some. It was just tied up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, was Lord Will was released in 2004. So basically, the critics were positive reviews from it. They decided to take rappers like Philadelphia rappers, Bolivia and Sadman, and put it like a mixtape. A lot of people don't know about this mixtape. They didn't really put it out there because they really wanted to work on their second album, which is Hell Hath No Fury.
Oh, oh,
Mm.
that was oh that
Dope,
album.
dope album, man. I love that album work. That album cover is with oh, man, I always forget this name for some reason. I don't know. It's with the X's.
With the X's.
Man, it's the X's with the eyes. I totally forgot. Like I literally,
The
man.
X's with
But
the eyes.
oh yeah, I'll get back to
Alright.
that. But Hell Hath No Fury. Basically, Clips dropped their first single, which is Mr. Me Too.
Oh,
Do you remember
banger.
that one? You remember
Banger.
that one,
Mr.
right?
Me Too is a fucking banger. If you
Yeah.
kids don't fucking know that shit, slap yourself.
With
Yo,
Pharrell Williams. That was released on May 23rd, 2006.
yo,
Um,
when I saw that music video, I was obsessed with Babe. I was like, yo, I gotta get the fucking Babe drip, like now.
oh, fun fact though. Fun fact, bro.
Uh
If you didn't know, that Pharrell, I mean not Pharrell, sorry. Pusha T actually dissed Lil Wayne.
huh. What the
That was a diss towards Lil Wayne.
a diss
Yeah.
towards Lil Wayne? Was
Yeah, of course.
like actual beef or just like some, just a
It was like,
little some sly shit.
cause like Pusha T always wore Bape with
Mm-hmm.
Pharrell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You think, I think Pharrell actually started the Bape movement, in my opinion.
He
Lil Wayne started
sure
wearing it.
did.
Lil Wayne wore it as well too, but Pusha T made that song for Lil Wayne because every time Pusha T has some kind of babe stuff on, Lil Wayne has some babe stuff on. So the title Mr. Me Too, you know. So that was kind of like a hit towards Lil Wayne. I don't think there's really beef
Okay, it was
at
just
all between them anymore. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, they're too damn old for
Maybe,
it.
maybe we shouldn't say beef. It was just
Yeah, it's just a
little
little,
shot,
yeah, a little round one shot. That was
a
a
little
little
sneak
knockout.
diss.
After the Mr. Me Too, which was a big hit, October 31st came. Clips did not drop the album, which was supposed to be released on Halloween. Instead, they dropped the single "Wham Wham What It Do" with Slim Thug. Still a very dope single. Not one of my favorites from them, but it's still a good single to drop before their album. And then after that, Hell Hath No Fury came out, released on November 28, 2006. So shit, we about a month later.
That's
it was a dope album, crazy album. Hip Hop Magazine XXL gave the album an XXL rating,
like
marking it as a 5-star album. Yeah. That's crazy. So only 5 albums have previously received that honor before then.
Oh shit. Okay. So is Hell Hath No Fury not your favorite?
It's cool. I mean, the album cover's from Claws. I totally remember that right now, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
This boy said the X's and I's.
I totally forgot. I don't know why. I always forget that name. It's so weird. But is it my favorite album from them? Nah, not really.
Bruh,
I mean, Lord Willing is a classic to me.
When you said X's and I's, I thought like literally the letter X and I's, but you're saying X for I's, like.
I totally forgot, man. I totally forgot. But but yeah, it's okay. It was a good album. I don't know. Some people thought this album was better than Lord Willing, but I don't know. I really don't know. But to me, Lord Willing was still a classic to me. Of course, it's kind of like first album's always great, second album's decent, But I mean, they did work on this album. I give it up to them. They are in their genre. They consider the Coke genre, which is they talked about Coke a lot. They talked about drugs a lot, and they made their own genre.
Pusha does talk about selling a lot of Coke.
Definitely,
a lot.
And
yeah. So, have they had any like recent releases? Past 10 years, I feel like they haven't.
Nah, not really. I mean, Till the Casket Drops came out to December 8, 2009. That was their last and final album together. That didn't do so well with the ratings. It basically Hell Hath No Fury sold about 80,000 units. No, I'm sorry, 50,000 units. Till the Casket Drops sold about 30,000 units. So I mean, that was a 20,000 unit drop
overall.
Yeah, pretty much.
Only sold Hell Hath No Fury only sold 50,000 copies.
I think 50 or 80,000, but I think it was 80,000. But it was a big ass drop from both the albums.
And guys, we're talking about a time where CD sales meant everything. Because
there was no streaming. There was
no streaming. This is right around the time when like iPods started becoming popular and stuff. So like you started buying the shit on like Apple iTunes and stuff like that.
Yeah. But yeah, it was hard. I mean, CD. I mean, it was still pretty good. I mean, just CDs. You know what I'm saying? Or cassettes if they still had it back then. But CDs were still good. Yeah, it was the last album. So before this album, Till the Casket Drops, Malice came. They're on tour. Malice came to his Pusha T's room, just to chill. He gave Pusha T a book, and Pusha T was like, "What is this? I don't write books. I just write rhymes. What are you giving me this for?" And Malice was like, "Well, this is what I want to do after the group. Like this was like a little like ease in to know that Malice is not going to be there for a while, like a long time,
Okay.
After that, they went on tour, this and that, and one day they're never late to a show. They're never late to the flight, never late, right? One day, Pusha T's late, Malice is late. They're like their whole vibe is all wrong.
Okay.
Come to find out that Pusha T's manager got killed. Basically, he just felt like he lost his best friend. Of course, Malice didn't know until the news or somebody else told him. So they got on the plane. Basically, was like, and Malice just stood up like, you know what, Pusha, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to produce with you anymore, rap with you no more. I don't want to do none of this anymore.
Yeah.
definitely left Pusha in the dust. Uh, but yeah, ever since then they separated. Malice became No Malice. Reason why? Because he became a Christian rapper and served the Lord, spread his message. So Malice is actually, it means the intention to or desire to do evil.
Mm-hmm.
Changing to No Malice means positively. It means he
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
want the
yeah.
intention or desire to be evil ever again. Now, a little backstory of it, Malice likes to think to his fans. He raps a lot about drug dealing, doing
Mm-hmm.
this, doing that. Fans would actually gravitate that. A lot of fans do, even till this day. Basically, Malice has a conscience. He doesn't want to rap about this anymore because he doesn't want to be responsible for any fans
Yeah.
that will get killed during the drug game. You know, um, but I mean that's basically pretty much what happened. He had a conscience. He wanted to spread a different message,
I respect that,
and
dude. Like,
yeah,
he he realized that the things that he was rapping about have affect people. They have an impact. There are people who will take things very literal, and you hear your favorite rappers, your whoever, singers, whatever, musicians talk about this shit, and then, you start really believing them, and then maybe that influences you in a certain way. And,
ex-
to find out that, like, a fan that you had or someone who listened to your music thought that shit was okay, and then like they go out and do it and like they end up getting killed or something or going to jail, like that fucks with you. Like, I don't think I'd be able to live with that shit if I found that out.
yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be evil either. So I mean, Miles has a good heart.
Mm-hmm.
I respect him for that as well. After that, they haven't spoke to each other or made music. Maybe not spoke to each other. Maybe not made music for like 10 years.
Okay.
Basically, they reunited on "Use Gospel" from Kanye West's "Jesus Is King."
Mm-hmm. Good song.
Great dope song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, having them together on a track again, it felt great. You know what I'm saying? It felt like like back in 2004. You know what I'm saying? There was rumors about a Clips album coming out, but Pusha T squashed those rumors and saying this is all fake.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you always thought, what
So
if? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So my next question, and I feel like we all kind of know the answer to this, but can either rapper coexist without the other? So if Pusha T didn't exist, would No Malice still have the rap career that he had and he currently does now? And I would ask the same for Pusha, but we all know Pusha has a fucking great solo career. So
Exactly.
you know, you know.
um, you know what, Malice, became a Christian rapper, and I do respect that because a lot of Christian rappers don't get a lot of fame because of what they provide the message to. A lot of
Mhm.
people don't agree with that, of course, but I think Malice is doing all right for himself.
Mhm.
Basically, as a Christian rapper, you don't really care about the fame or the streaming or the numbers. You really care about spreading the message
Yeah. That's
to provide the message for God. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So in a way, both these brothers have made different kinds of success, and I think that's great. You know what I'm saying? Either one made money success, and the other one's made a message success. Both of them succeeded now. You know what I'm saying? So I think both of them did succeed without each other, one another. But it'd be great to have them back together.
Yeah. So Clips, one of our favorites, Lance's favorites, one of his all-time favorite rappers. I think Pusha T is one of your top five, right? Or he's
Yeah,
up
he's
there.
number 6, I
Number
believe.
six, top 10 in the top 10
Yeah,
list.
top 10. Yeah, top 10,
Okay.
bro. Underrated MC, bro. Come on, man.
Underrated MC facts. Man got bars. Man got bars.
That's it, definitely. I remember you telling me you were listening to Outkast,
Yo,
right?
listening to a lot of Outkast and on some real shit, I gotta say it now. I don't care what anyone says, disagree with me or not. But if Outkast didn't exist, Atlanta would not be the fucking hip hop mecca, the powerhouse that it is. Outkast
Mm,
is the reason that all these other rappers had a fucking chance. I know some people might say that, oh no, it might have been like Too Short. When Too Short left the Bay, he came out there to Atlanta. He was really like fucking with people there, found Lil Jon, and then Lil Jon. Yo, some people say that Lil Jon is the reason why, or maybe not some people, but I heard some shit saying that like if it wasn't for Lil Jon, the beats that the Bay Area has and is known for wouldn't exist. So they were trying to say that, Lil Jon had a really big influence on the hyphy movement and everything. And I just want to say, fuck that bullshit. It's the other way around.
That could be it, man. He did fuck with Mac Dre back then. He did
Yeah.
fuck with Mac Dre, but I don't know if like sound wise, I'm not too sure about that at
No,
all.
but it's crazy because so Outkast, like just listening to their music and kind of like the progression, where they started, and like kind of going through my favorite albums and everything.
Hmm.
They don't have like the biggest discography, you know. They
Hmm.
made 4 or 5 studio albums together, right? And you really
Yeah.
think about like what's their most popular albums. I would think like AT Aliens, one of my personal favorites. Uh,
Stankonia.
yeah, Stankonia is really good. But then you listen to that album and then you think, what are what are the songs that you really know from that album? And it's like, what I like the way you move, Miss Jackson, Bombs Over Baghdad, like that's really it. And then you listen to um, the next one. You listen to Speaker Box and Love Below. You listen to that album, and then it's just like, whoa, like I know all these songs, but wait, do I really know all these songs? You go back, you listen to it, and it's like I know Hey Ya, and then I know like Roses, and then
Yeah.
that's off of the Love Below. But then you listen to like the Speaker Box part, like Big Boys, like so I wouldn't say solo album because they're both featured on a lot of the tracks on each album, but it's supposed to be the individuals. I viewed that as like each individual releasing a solo album and then just putting it together in a collaboration. Like it's a
Okay.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it's a collab.
that's interesting, man. Because it's Outkast was like a dope ass group. Like it was like there are two different people. You know what I'm saying? But they made it happen. I believe so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
Um, what
Go
was
ahead.
when was this group formed?
So like like Clips, Outkast formed in like the early '90s. I think like '92, '93,
Okay.
and they were just some kids in high school. You know,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
they had similar group of friends. They kind of came from the same neighborhood. They didn't go to the same school. Andre 3000 actually went to uh, I guess what would be considered like a magnet school. Like you
Mhm.
live in a certain neighborhood, but then the city's doing these programs where they'll take kids from different neighborhoods, allow them to go to
Mhm.
different schools. So instead of going to the public school near his house and kind of just being around people that are very similar, that are like him, living in similar like situations, you have him going to like this white prep school, and then that had a heavy influence on the type of person he is. The way he
Yeah, yeah.
dresses, the way he talks, and everything. You look at Andre 3000, he's a little like, I don't want to say extra, but you know what I mean. Like he stands out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely,
But
definitely.
their biggest how Outkast, in my opinion, how Outkast came to fame was the first album, Southern Playlist Cadillac Music,
Hmm.
and it came out in '95.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now you
Okay.
think of '95. Like
I'm
think of
thinking.
like it's East Coast versus West Coast, right? It's Death Row versus fucking Bad Boys, right?
True. True. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Uh huh.
in '95, I believe '95 was when Pac got murdered, right?
Uh huh.
So that escalates everything. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so that year they had the Source Awards and it was hosted in New York,
Uh huh.
and they won Best New Artist of the Year. And
Okay.
that was when like Snoop Dogg goes on stage and it was like, what, the East Coast don't love us and New York don't love us, and they're just like talking mad shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
these two guys from the South that no one respected, no one thought Southern rappers could rap. If you were a rapper, you were either from New York or you were from LA. It was either you were from the East Coast or you were from the West Coast. The South got no love, so they were getting booed the entire fucking time. And then they go up there, and then it's one of those moments. It's like, do you crack under pressure, or are you gonna fucking persevere and you're gonna like, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
So fucking like Andre goes up there, and he's like, yo, demo after demo sent out, record labels dropping us, no one wanting to sign us, and then we got, we won this award, and then, that means something, and it's just the South got something to say, and we're here to stay. And that's a fucking
Damn.
bar, dude. That's a mic drop.
Oof.
You say that
That
shit,
was
you drop it, you walk away,
that's,
man.
that's that's crazy. I still remember those videos that popped up that when he says that all the time. It pops up on Twitter a lot because that was a real big impact. That was when Andre needed something to say about the South because everybody was disrespecting them.
No respect, dude. And it's not like they were just, this was a fluke, just, they got this one award and everything, and then like that was it. No, they persevered, they kept with it, and they dropped hits. But you think about like, if you think about their rap styles, especially I want to talk about like Andre 3000.
Okay.
It's out there. It's not what you think is typical Atlanta from the South. Not that typical trap music, right? Or
Yeah.
at least
Okay.
not like
Okay.
what trap music is nowadays. You
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
back
Yeah. Yeah.
then, if you listen to the rhyme schemes and the way that they rap, it's very New York. It's just the way they say things, and I feel like that's because during that time period, if you wanted to be a rapper, you'd imitate kind of who the top rappers were. All the best rappers were from New York,
Mm-hmm.
or New York, California, but they were kind of pulling like like their swag, their steez from New York, but then they were kind of making it their own.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how, moving on from like Southern Playlist Cadillac Music going on to like AT Aliens, you start kind of seeing that growth. You start seeing a little change in their style. They're kind of still the same, but there are little differences in things. And I also think that goes like with how they matured over the years, because in 95 I think they were like 18 or 19. You know, you're you're
Mm-hmm.
you're classified as an adult, but like honestly, I look at 18, 19-year olds now, and you're just like, yo, dude, you're just a bunch of fucking stupid ass kids. I'm like, you don't know what the
Times has,
fuck you doing, what
times
the
has
fuck you
changed,
saying.
man.
Yeah, but it's crazy because so the next album came out with is AT Aliens, and I think that dropped in 96, so a year, no, 2 years after Southern Playlist
Okay.
came out.
Okay.
And AT Aliens, like I was listening to that, and the one thing that kind of blew me away about the album was just the production, because it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of, it was, I don't know, it was almost like G Funk but not G Funk, but then it was
Mm-hmm.
almost like Tribe Called Quest but not Tribe Called Quest. It had weird like jazz and like funk and blues type samples, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah. Yeah.
wasn't, it wasn't anything I heard of before, and that's what I was just like, oh dude, like this is so fucking raw, this is so
So.
dope. And then you also like lyrically, you think of the content in the album and everything, and you kind of hear a shift and change. I don't know if anyone knows this, but like Andre 3000, when AT Aliens, when they were when they were making that album, he sobered up. So no more alcohol, no more drugs, and he became celibate, dude. No more sex. And
Shit.
he did all these things because he felt that, when you're young, when he was a teenager, like 17, 18, you think you can, you know, do all the drugs you want, you could drink all the alcohol you want, you could sleep with whoever you want, and you feel like you're fucking invincible, like you're Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in an interview, he talked about how he felt there was a time when you kind of just have to grow up, essentially, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then he stopped after the first album and after the first tour. he stopped smoking, he stopped drinking, and then he started trying to live up to his potential. He felt that he wasn't being 100. He wasn't being the best version of himself. And like I
Mm-hmm.
respect that because it's just you when you become famous, maybe you get kind of lost in that rock star life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you're just super famous, you got all this money, you can get anything you want. It's hard.
So this is kind of crazy because when you said Andre was sober and celibate and he just stopped doing everything. This is early in his career. This is crazy because this is only the second album. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying? A lot of rappers, they give up drinking and everything maybe towards the end of the career or when they make a new album to come back. But he came out, he did that on the second album, and that's kind of I give him respect for that. You know what I'm saying?
yo,
Um, would you say that you know if he didn't do all that stuff, you think ATLs would be better or would it be a mess? Because Southern Playlist kind of like music, that was a dope album. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So I mean, he was doing all that on that album, but ATL is a phenomenal album, and he did that sober and everything. So do you think it would be a mess that he did all that on that
I
album, or
it's hard to say because I feel that if you just go back to like just thinking of the album title, AT Aliens, right?
yeah,
They're ATL, Atlanta,
yeah,
AT
yeah, yeah,
Aliens, aliens. You know,
mm-hmm.
it's like they're from Atlanta. They feel that's their city. That's where they're from. But maybe I always thought that they named it AT Aliens because they're so fucking different. They're not about the same life that everyone else is living there. That they felt like literal aliens.
Yeah, yeah, mm-hmm.
And I just don't think the album would have the same allure. I don't think it would be as special as I believe it to be, or that it is. Because if he didn't go through those changes, you know, I don't think the same emotion, the same meaning would be in all those rhymes. You get what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying?
crazy.
Because it's like it has to come from the heart, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely,
also
definitely.
like some other shit, like Andre never graduated from high school. He dropped out.
All
and
right.
and around that time he decided to get his GED and start you know pursuing higher education kind of. And then the same thing with Big Boy. Big Boy had his first child, I believe a daughter. And Big Boy, in an interview with Spin, told him that it made him more responsible. His daughter became his number one priority. You know,
That could change anybody's life. Having a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like it really opens up your mind, and
and
I definitely respect all that.
and it's it's crazy, dude. And this album is also the first album where Outkast kind of like started wanting to take control of like everything of their own career. So they started producing. They
Mm-hmm.
produced the track AT Aliens and Elevators. And what's crazy is that Elevators was almost going to get cut. It wasn't going to make it on the album
Mm-hmm.
because they said it was like too out there. It felt like it didn't fit. And I thought that was like fucked up because I believe I believe that that song and this other song Babylon, which is another one that they produced, weren't gonna make the cut because they were talking about loss. They were talking about, I think it was like Big Boy's aunt, uh, who basically raised him, so it was like a mother figure to him,
Mm-hmm.
passed away from pneumonia. And then it was like he's rapping about his feelings. He's rapping about the tragedy of losing a loved one, losing that mother figure, losing that, strong woman in your life that helped raise you to be the person who you are. And I thought it was just like, damn, they were gonna fucking cut that? Like, that's that's some shit.
That's crazy stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? Like it a lot of things can happen in your life, of course. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of things can happen for the good, happen for the bad. Um, but that's how the rap game is. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
You can never stay. You can stay consistent for as long as you can, but some shit happens and changes your life, they either go both ways and they separate.
It's true. And also, ATLiens was one of their best commercial success. It it came out in '96,
Mm-hmm.
and it was number two. It was ranked number two on the top 40 charts. So, and it was up there for a while. So that's like crazy. This is their second album coming from an area that no one really respected in the rap game, and to go number two overall in the charts, you know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy.
No, that's hard. It's definitely hard, man. And then he did it, and I loved him for that. ATL is one of my favorite albums and favorite songs from them. They did so well. They did lyrically great on that album. They had a couple albums after that, right? After that success,
Stankonia. I hope I'm
St.
pronouncing
Colleen.
that, dude. I can never pronounce that shit, so I'm butchering that shit. Oh, and before that, in '98, they released I can't pronounce it, but it's basically based on their zodiac signs. I think it's Akemi, Aquemi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're saying.
So it's one of, I think it was Big Boy is an Aquarius, and then Andre is a Gemini, and then
Hmm.
that whole album is just kind of like based on their zodiac signs and like the differences.
Which is
And
kind of cool. That's kind of a cool
it's pretty
concept.
cool. To be honest, I did not listen to that album a lot. I don't know a lot of
Mm.
songs on there. There's
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one song with Raekwon. I think it's called like something Bar or Bar B or something like that. It
Hmm.
was dope. And then yeah, that's it. But then you go on to Stankonia, and I almost felt like it was almost like a political album, but maybe not really. You know, it came out in 2000, and no, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't a political album. I'm just saying that because they made that song "Bombs Over Baghdad." But
That and they had like the American
yeah,
flag on their album cover, right?
so
Nah, I completely understand where you come from on that one.
it this album on like some forums and shit that I was like reading and just talking with like some other people, they kind of said like this album was like the turning point of the group because musically they changed. They You listen to this album and I don't want to say it's pop because it's not pop,
Hmm.
but it was more kind of commercial and mainstream. So
Got it.
when you
Okay.
think of the album, what songs do you think of? Like I think I mentioned all the popular songs
Absolutely.
on there, but like So Fresh
So
So
Fresh and So
Clean,
Clean, Miss Jackson,
yeah,
Vibes Over Baghdad. All of them really had radio hits
those
commercially and
were
music videos for all of them.
those were crazy hits. But it was I think this was like when they realized you know when you reach a certain point in your career and it's like you prove that you could rap, you got the talent and everything, but maybe the money isn't right, it's not there, and
Got
do
it.
you think that this is kind of like they sold out? Because I don't think so, because this album slaps, dude. like
Yeah, yeah,
like
definitely.
there are fucking bars on this album.
Exactly. Shit. If this was the turning point, then well, then Speaker Box and Low Below, that was the last album, pretty much, right?
So
And
that was the next one that came out in 2003, and I felt like this
uh-huh.
was like the most pop one out of all of them. You just listen to it, and just speaking about like the Love Below one, the most popular song on here would be Hey Ya and like
Hmm.
Roses, and then what's another really good one on there? My favorite things is also really good. That one song with what's her name? The fucking the chick that did Khalees. I think it's like Wedding Day or something like that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. But then like Big Boy had some slaps on there. He has a song called Bust featuring Killer Mike. Killer Mike, another slept on rapper. That was really dope. He had Tuma Boom. That one had Ludacris on there. That was like super dope. Which is another underrated rapper, by the way.
People will
Ludacris.
always forget about him.
Uh, he had this one song with CeeLo Green that slapped too, and Flip Flop Phone or Flip Flop something. It had Jay Z and Killer Mike on there. That was also another one. Oh, and Last Call. That had Lil Jon, East Side Boys, um, Mystical? No, not Mystical. Someone else. But yeah, all slaps. But I feel like this was the. So this album won them a Grammy. And I feel that when you win a Grammy, like, yeah, for best rap album, for
Mhm.
best hip hop album, like, I feel that to win it, you kind of have to have a lot of, like,
You have to sell out.
yeah, I don't want to say it like that, but that's what it kind of feels like.
Of
Like,
course.
it's less hip hop and more hip hop. But all the
That's
songs, like,
how
I'm sorry.
that's how you get into the Grammys. You have to make it commercial success. You can never be underground too long, you know?
But then, like I said, all those songs I said that off of Speakerbox, off of Big Boy's kind of like solo project, like all of those were fucking bangers. Those weren't really like poppy songs. Actually, the one with one of them with Lil Jon was
Shit, listen, man, you just need at least 3, 4 songs on the radio and music videos, and then Grammys won. You know what I'm saying? They always overlook the songs that actually matter in those albums. You know what I'm saying? They just want the pop songs that have a catchy beat and you know, a hook or a catchy
yeah.
hook. You know what I'm saying?
But this was in 2003, and like I remember coming home after school, and, like middle school, and like watching TRL on MTV, and like I would wait for the Hey Ya music video to come on, and that was on there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and um, that was like what carried them, dude. That album, Onwards, Stardom, and everything, all the money in the world and everything. And there was, they released another album, 2006, called Idle Wild.
Oh
Um,
my god, totally forgot about that one.
I did
Jesus.
not listen to that album.
Holy crap. That was a movie too. I
Oh,
remember
for real?
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it was
didn't
a
know.
movie
I
too.
didn't know.
Oh shit. Wow. I totally forgot about that
So
one. I think everybody else did too.
I think so too. But then also on some real shit, I feel like Outkast doesn't get the respect they deserve.
No,
You know,
definitely
because
not.
you think of the South and you think of kind of like trap music, and you see Big Boy and Andre 3000. They don't embody any of the things that people look for. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I think in 2014 they came back and they reunited and they did a 20-year anniversary tour. So they played at like all these big music festivals like Lollapalooza, Coachella. Um, I think Rock the Bells was still going on back then. So Rock the Bells
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Paid
Yeah. Yeah.
Dues. Yo, if y'all
Shit.
motherfuckers do not remember
Wow.
that, Paid Dues and Rock the Bells existed. They were the hip hop like festivals that you went to before Rolling Loud. And pay dues. Apparently, no one paid their dues because they went broke.
Hey, just to let all y'all kids know, Rock the Bells walked so fucking Rolling Loud can run, okay? That was the fucking shit because they had underground rappers, they had all the fucking like MCs
OGs.
on there. Bro, that was like the best fucking concert I ever been to. Still, okay? This is when like Kendrick Lamar was coming out, Kid Cudi. They had everybody there, all right? And the crazy part was that each city they had all the rappers from their city rap on there. So if you're from the Bay Area, they had Too Short and E40. If you had DC, you had Wale over there.
Yeah, yeah,
Charlotte, you had J. Cole. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it sucked that that you can't get those rappers, but it was kind of like a homage to those
yeah.
rappers from their cities. You know?
Like, like I remember the New York, they had like Wu Tang Clan, but like Wu Tang Clan, you know, since they're so big, they would go back and forth. But
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
like Papoose would be there. He wouldn't come out to Cali, And then you would have like Fat Joe wouldn't come out to Cali, and then like Lancet, like other little like other rappers that are kind of just like in that area or along the coast or whatever in the city, like they wouldn't come out. Like in like Common, I hella wanted to see Common. Common wasn't gonna perform out here in the Bay Area. He would only perform in Chicago. Same thing with like
Yeah.
Lupe Fiasco. Same thing with Tech Nine. Tech Nine's from not from Chicago, but I don't know. He wasn't on the list out here to play in the Bay Area. But anyways, uh, when they reunited for that 20-year anniversary, Big Boy did an exclusive interview with I think People, People magazine, a magazine, and he kind of talked about how their image, how they were perceived as, was super fucking inaccurate, but they went with it because that's what it stuck with. Like Big Boy kind of seemed like this pimp, this player. He was always wearing the suits, the fur coats. He got the cane, driving the caddy, and all that shit, right? But he
Hmm.
was like, I was so far from that. I'm a guy that's dedicated to one person. I got a family. I do this rap thing, but I always come home after. I always take care of my family. I'm always with my daughters, my kids, all this and that. If anyone was living the playa lifestyle, it was Andre 3000. But then they had it flipped. You know, he was the
Yeah.
one that was kind of like erratic and like you thought him to be more of like a gentleman and everything, this and that. And he was like, nah, dude, but that's what the labels were pushing, and we just did it. Didn't affect them negatively or anything, but he always thought like that shit was super funny. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's Outcast. And you know,
So
the,
are they still together or
yes,
they separate?
yes, they are. They aren't making music together right now, but the group never broke up. I guess it's kind of like the Clips thing. They view themselves as
Yeah.
brothers, and they're just they said that they're kind of just enjoying life. They're living life right now. They're taking a break from the music and they're just appreciating what they have right now. Like Big Boy, I think he released a solo album not too long ago, maybe like 2 years ago.
Hmm.
But like Andre hasn't really made new music. But what people don't know is like Andre on the down low, he produces a lot. They do a lot of producing now.
Mm.
And I feel like that's kind of like the shift that you do. When you're a rapper and you're really popping and everything, and you start taking control of your own career and all the aspects of it, you kind of move on from just being a rapper. You get into the production side of things. You learn how to produce, and when maybe you're you reach the pinnacle of your career and then it kind of starts declining a little, you're not as poppin', then you kind of
Hmm.
just like, I'm still about the music, I'm still here, I'm just gonna do the shit behind the scenes.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
I think the last Andre 3000 song that he did that I can think of was like he was featured on like a Frank Ocean album,
Mm.
and maybe he
Shit.
was like on some other ones.
Could be. I mean, he probably has a lot of stuff that we don't know, but I mean, yeah, I don't remember that Andre 3000 verse from "I Want You" featuring Lloyd and Nas. I don't know if you remember that song, but that's the one I remember. Uh,
Dude,
yeah, shit.
slept
It's
on.
really hard to catch Andre 3000 in a verse or a song. You have to
Yeah,
really be into music to really find where he's at.
yeah, and yeah. So they're still together, and if you would ask me if they could exist without one another, I don't know. When I look at it, I was just like, there's no Big Boy without Andre 3000, and there's no Andre 3000 without Big Boy.
Mm.
I feel
Okay.
like they both really needed each other because in their music, it would be almost like two opposing views. One person on one side of things, another person on the other side of things, and then just kind of coming together. And then I think that means something. That means a lot. You
Yeah,
think
yeah,
of
yeah.
like the social setting right now with all the shit going on in the world. I feel like a lot of people, just because you disagree with someone, all of a sudden you can't fuck with them, and it's just like it's not like that, fam.
Yeah, yeah.
You could
No.
have differences in opinions and everything. They could still be your homie.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, but that's Outkast, super underrated. Or maybe I feel like this generation of kids don't appreciate Outkast. You know, they don't
I
appreciate a
don't
lot
think
of
so.
things.
I don't think some of them don't even know who they are, honestly. But
Ugh,
shit, that'll suck.
yeah, but the best for last. Our
Ooh,
favorite
man, my
duo.
favorite,
Oh,
the one on the hat, baby.
oh,
One on the hat,
Gangstar. R.I.P. Guru.
Gangstar. RP, man, another great loss. Ooh, man, Gangstar. Gangstar's the one for me, bro. I mean, there was a lot of duos with the DJs.
Mm-hmm.
I think DJ Premier killed this as a
Yo,
duo, bro.
Primo, crazy. And you know what's crazy? Because if you think about the history of hip hop and how hip hop originated, right? And you
Hmm.
think of like this duo in particular, back then it was all about the DJ. It was all the DJ was what drew the crowd in. You would go to the club, you would go to these shows for the DJ. You know, you want to
Hmm.
hear him mix, you want to hear him scratch, you want to hear him play all your favorite records and everything. And the the MC would be there to kind of to entertain the crowd, keep them pumped, keep the energy going in between the DJ switching records and everything, right? And at some
Hmm.
point, you know, the MC started becoming as popular or more popular than the DJ. And when they figured out that they can do their shit for real without a DJ, they could just have someone produce the beats and shit in a studio, and then they could really make a career out of rapping and everything, right? I felt like it kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, once you said that, I'm like, yeah. I mean, all the shows that I did go to before COVID, the DJ would always rile up the crowd to make sure like the crowd's pumped up for the artist. Um, and now I think pretty much the artist does it for himself. But I mean, there is no, to me, there's no show without a DJ.
True,
DJ
true.
controls the rhythm of the group, controls the rhythm of the crowd. They can go hyphy. They can also like make them wild, do this, do that. It controls the vibe. If it's not a good vibe, eh, the DJ's not doing a good job. And I think the DJ is the most important one,
Yeah,
and definitely in hip hop for real.
yeah. And if you go back and you think of the core elements of hip hop, you know, being a DJ or turntablist, MCing,
B-boy
b-boying, and graffiti.
and
And
graffiti.
it's like the DJs were there, you know, for the b-boys. B-boys wouldn't exist without the DJs, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. They pumped the crowd. I mean, the b boys had to study all the DJ's songs, bro, in order to hit those beats.
And you know, this group, all right, so if you didn't know, Gangstar is comprised of Guru, the MC, the rapper, and DJ slash producer DJ Premier, one of the
Yeah,
greatest ever to ever fucking do it.
definitely
So
agree with.
where do we start, dude? How do we do this justice?
Shit, let's actually start them off with the history of Gangstar. So
Okay.
originally, Gangstar was founded in Boston, Massachusetts by Guru,
Mhm.
then known as MC Keithy E and DJ One Two B Down, also known as Mike D.
Mhm.
So get this, DJ Premier wasn't in that fucking circle just yet.
Mhm.
So with various producers such as Donald D, JV Johnson, or the 45 King helping out, the earliest recordings were in 1986, where they made various demos. So Guru actually started Gangstar.
Okay.
In 1989, fortunately the group split, and the only member willing to continue under the name was Guru. He soon got in touch with this Houston, Tennessee DJ Premier known as Waxmaster C, who sent him a beat tape, which Guru liked. Thank God, because and then basically the group formed. Gang Star again. They did tremendous hits all over the world. My personal favorite, and I think it's your personal favorite as well too. The album "Moment of Truth."
Oh, yes.
Mo-
Yes, fam.
Moment of
Moment
Truth
of truth.
came out on March 31st, 1998. Man, it has some bangers on that album. The reason why we chose this album was it's like I think it's pure hip hop
It
in my eyes. You know what I'm saying?
it embodies hip hop. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
the pure
it it
embodiment of hip hop.
it grasps the sound of what it was hip hop back then.
Hmm.
Moment of Truth was also fun fact. This was the album that DJ Premier gave on Guru's deathbed before he died.
Oh,
You know,
swear.
yeah, this is so he gave a shirt. Uh, it was a Gangstar logo, like the one on the hat on my hat right now. For some odd reason, Guru DJ Premier was like, I have to bring a Moment of Truth.
Hmm.
This was the album. For some odd reason, I had to give it to him on a CD. You know, before his deathbed, and um, it was a special moment. And yeah, Moment of Truth is I think that could be that was like a perfect album to give him. You know what I'm saying? They had songs like You Know My Steed, Work, Royalty, best songs in my opinion.
Yo, you know
You know
my
what I'm saying?
steez is classic hip hop anthem, one of the best.
I think so. Yeah, I think so as well too. Work, Work was basically a song describing their work ethics, how they run, how they rhymed, what they did. Basically, you know, telling everybody their craft and their hip hop icon rapping. They exercise their slang subpar MCs. There's also a track where Guru explains how gangs are, like I said, work ethics and dedication to their craft. You know, I mean, you don't get that no more from like a group or a duo. You know what I'm saying? It's either
No,
they could put it online, SoundCloud, and that's it. They don't really give you a history of the song too much.
facts. And then also, it's like it's maybe because I'm so biased towards like New York hip hop. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like I love like the boom bap type shit. I love shit like this, right? Like, uh, and you know my C's. There's this bar that I fucking love, and
Hmm.
it goes like your song's pathetic, synthetic, like rayon, fat beats they play on, want dope rhymes,
Don't
put me
press,
on,
put
word
me
is
on,
bond.
what is
And I was just
bond?
like, I, I was, I got blown away when I heard that shit, dude. And it's like I say that hip hop, damn fucking train, bro. I'm sorry, you guys are gonna hear this in the background. Um, the this bar, or I feel like this bar in particular is very like generational, but also timeless, if that makes sense. A lot of
Oh
times,
yeah.
a lot of times in hip hop, I feel that if you weren't alive during that era or you were growing up and this was something that you heard or listened to a lot, you know,
Hmm.
you hear this and if say if I'm a teenager in high school right now and I heard this shit and someone dropped a bar like that, I'd be like what the fuck is this? You know, like it's nothing what people are rapping about now. And I feel that I feel that this is a lost art form, you know? Like you
Hmm.
just break it down. So your song's pathetic, synthetic. He's calling you fake. He says you're a fake rapper, you a fake MC. You got no fucking bars. Synthetic like rayon. Rayon's a synthetic material. It's like what is it like I don't even know what the fuck it is. I want to say it's like plastic or some shit like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
and it's just synthetic like rayon, fat beats they play on, and also another thing like you could be a whack rapper, but if the beat's fucking dope, you know, like how far are you gonna go? That beat will carry a bad rapper, which is like
No,
95% of all the rappers right now. Y'all fucking suck. Oh, not everyone.
sadly,
You know,
sadly.
don't want to make any enemies. Don't want any enemies. A lot of rappers right now like questionable bars, questionable flow, you know, but you got a sick dope ass producer. Yeah, and then he says, you know, they want dope rhymes, put them on. One of the best ever. Word is bond.
Yeah,
Facts.
I mean, there's not much you can say about that. You know what I'm saying? Moment of Truth, it really is like a special album to me
Hmm.
because this is like the first album I saw with Gangstar. Before that they had like a couple more albums, but Moment of Truth, I still play this to this day, man. It's still in rotation in my eyes. Still the greatest album, one of the top albums in my opinion. But like every duo, there's always comes to an end.
Unfortunate for Guru. It was unfortunate for Guru.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
there I felt that there was a lot of drama going on with Guru, a lot of behind the scenes shit that people don't know about. And then I remember you telling me about that with I believe his manager.
Basically, so after several albums and tours, in
Hmm.
late 2002, DJ Premier left Europe to go back to the United States, right?
Yeah.
Once again, Drew was faced with continuing alone and became involved in a European tour in 2003, 2004 with an
Hmm.
alternate DJ. 2006 came up. Guru indicated in several albums that Gangstar has reached its end, which sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, Guru was like, whatever about this album. I
Yeah.
mean, whatever about this group. February 2010, Guru suffered a heart attack, went into coma, uh, and died on April 19, 2010. Solar, now this guy
That was his
is the evil
manager,
person.
right?
Yeah, Solar, longtime collaborator. Collaborator said that Guru chose not to go public with the diagnosis of his disease, which is melanoma. That was made in 2000. Guru appeared to have fallen out with DJ Premier 7 years prior to his death and did not wish my ex DJ to have anything to do with my name, likeness, events, tributes, or etc. That's fucking nuts, dude.
It is. That was. Do you feel like Guru would actually say that shit, or you feel like that was his manager wrote that shit, made him say that? Cause
Yeah, there was like no speculations
uh huh,
that that letter was written by Guru,
uh huh,
but people were saying it was composed by Solar because Solar and DJ Premier had beef. Um, yeah, basically the validity of the statement continues to be heavily questioned by Guru's family, many of his hip hop fans, hip hop culture. It was weird, him saying that uh, to DJ Premier because they're like brothers. You know what I'm saying? So for him to write that in a letter, or write that in a letter to say that to DJ Premier, I think it was like I don't know. I don't think it was him. To this day, I don't think it was him.
facts. I want to feel it, and I want people to know that like Guru, it wasn't just because he had a heart attack that he basically died. They found out it was cancer, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So Guru died of cancer in April 2010. They're supposed to actually make an album together.
yeah.
They haven't released the album with DJ Premier's Gangstar since 2003. So the owners since 7 years earlier.
Hmm.
Basically, the album came out, one of the best yet, November 1st, but it took a lot of fucking things to get this album done, bro. Like when I was researching
Uh huh.
this shit's pissed me off, bro, because we could have had this album long time ago. Long time ago. Guru had to provide former collaborators. Solar had said that he disowned his former producer and DJ was released around the time of his death. However, many looked on it as suspicion. While Guru and Premier had not spoken since 2004, Premier had wanted to release a final album, but had difficulty obtaining unreleased material from Guru despite the rapper's prolific work ethics. So basically, Solar is saying that, oh, Guru doesn't have any rhymes anymore. He doesn't have this, that. He never wrote any rhymes or recorded any rhymes.
Uh
But
huh.
that's bullshit because DJ Premier knows Guru backhand, like back and forth, because Guru had a lot of fucking rhymes on him. So
Hmm.
basically, Solar was like, I think he was keeping the rhymes from DJ Premier.
I feel that.
Because,
I'm
oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
Nah. I was gonna say yeah. I feel that it is like his manager. It is Solar that's like fucking up this shit, and maybe it's just some bad blood that we don't know that's going on between him and Premier. You know.
Yeah,
And
but I mean, they had difficulties obtaining the release material from Guru.
hmm.
But I mean, 2014, a court case gave Guru family control of his own unreleased music. 2016, Solar decided to sell the remaining music.
Yeah, yeah.
Forgot no reasons why, but I remember DJ Premier was at the Breakfast Club, and they're playing the music
Hmm.
to DJ Premier to make sure this is like Guru, this is him. He was bobbing his head, but he couldn't be so excited because if he was excited, they would keep the records because this is like a a golden rhymes. You know what I'm saying? This could be a hit.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
DJ Premier just nodding his head, just like okay, this is it, this is that. I mean, he and as soon as he was listening to all these rhymes, he knew what
Yeah,
songs
so
would go to
crazy.
which. It was it was kind of crazy. I mean, despite I'm honest, between the two men, an agreement was reached with Solar. Early 2018, G Premier decided to put together the final album, creating new beats for the project over acapellas from Guru. So get this, man. Guru's family, DJ Premier wanted some ashes from Guru. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter, like a pebble. He wanted some
Yeah,
ashes so he can be there in the studio to record with them. You know, and it was a crazy process. It was a long process. Basically, he felt Guru was in the room
uh,
with him. Like he felt like after when he was recording his music, this album was the one because Guru was in the room still with them. And yeah, I mean, the album came out, one of the best yet. Came out with singles like "Bad Name" and "Loyalty" featuring J. Cole.
yo, that loyalty track when it came out, yo, it was fucking crazy, dog.
Yeah, no, definitely. I believe "Loyalty" was actually supposed to be the second single. So "Bad Name" was actually supposed to be the first single. But J. Cole, it was crazy. I don't know how he got so much power over DJ Premier, but he said basically, if I'm not the first single off your album, I'm not gonna be the feature.
Yeah.
and, DJ Premier was like,
Wow.
wait, no. I had this all planned out. This Bad Name's supposed to be the first single. Loyalty is the
Yeah.
second, okay? And I mean, come to think about it, J. Cole, I remember the J. Cole saying this to DJ Premier. He's like, you know what? If you release me with your first single and I'm the feature, my fans are gonna go to be your fans and they're gonna find out about Gangstar, do this and do that, and they're gonna have a new fan base for Gangstar. You know,
I feel you.
it was it was a good move. It was a good move. Um,
So
but oh, go ahead.
no. No, go ahead. You can finish.
But yeah, I mean, I love this album.
Yeah.
When it came out, I played that, to the wheels fall off. I always wanted a new Gangstar album. Um, this was it. I think you can hear a lot of Guru. I mean, of course, Guru was on it, but at times I feel like Guru had disappeared on some tracks. But I felt like Guru was in the studio with him for sure, for sure.
There's some crazy features on this album. Like one of the songs I like is the one with Talib Kweli, Business or Art. I thought that was really cool. Family and Loyalty, of course, my favorite off there, and Hitman with Q-Tip. I'll be honest though, like I haven't given this album like a real listen. I haven't really gone through everything yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad because I kind of want to go back to this album, but I just go back to the singles. But I mean, Gangstar is Gangstar to me.
Yeah,
I got this on vinyl as well too. So I mean, I like this album. DJ Premier did some great cuts and mixes into this album, and basically the two music videos that came out was "Bad Name" and "Loyalty." If you check those out, "Bad Name" is featuring Guru's son actually. So basically, Guru's son's imitating Guru,
okay.
and in the music video, basically he has long curly hair, Guru's son. And DJ Premier was like, I have an idea. Like, if you wear the Guru, if you wear the Gangstar hat, rap like your dad, that'd be good. But the thing is, you have a lot of hair. And
Okay.
his son was like, fuck it, cut it, man. He's like, you sure? He's like, yeah, just cut it.
Yeah.
Cut it, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly like Guru. Looks exactly like fucking Guru. It's fucking nuts.
So let me ask you this: do you feel that that album, that it's a postpartum album, right? So do you
Mhm.
feel that that album did justice? It honored his name.
Most definitely, man. I think that this is one of like the best postpartum albums in my eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As like a person in hip hop duos that has lost somebody, and then they can't form a duo without them, and somehow they made it happen with an album that he's been gone for so long.
Yeah.
This was like probably well put together. you know, at some points that you feel like the features overwhelmed Guru's rhymes, but Guru had a lot of fucking rhymes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they can make another 2 or 3 albums still with his rhymes because DJ Premier's said on the Breakfast Club he has a lot of fucking rhymes that he can do that he can mix with. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they come out with another album, maybe in like an anniversary edition or some shit, you know?
I feel it. Sorry, my bad.
He can't.
No, that's my dog snoring in the background. If y'all can hear it. Yeah, not not anyone. You could actually see my dog on the couch, Jesse. Yeah, but yeah. So I was gonna ask, or I wanted to ask, like we asked with all the other duos, if one can exist without the other, and I feel that with this, I feel like we can't really ask this because it's one of those things that we said they're one of the originals. It's the MC and the DJ together, and I feel that both are needed to coexist, you know, or to
Definitely,
exist.
definitely. Yeah, it's just one of those that you can't really say anything because rest in peace, Guru. You know,
R&B
um,
Guru.
but you know, I mean, it sucks. You know, it sucks to lose great ones, for sure. But I mean, DJ Premier's doing well for himself. He's still honoring Guru to this day, of course. They're still brothers.
Hmm.
So if you think about it, you know, Guru's still with them. I
Yeah,
mean, whether or not they're still together, you know what I'm saying? Even though he's gone, DJ Premier is doing wonders. DJ Premier is like close with Guru's family, his son. So in a way, they never broke up either. You know,
true, true, facts. Um,
definitely.
yeah, guys. Anything else you want to say, Lance? I feel that probably gonna close it up. Do you feel that there was anyone else that maybe we could have talked about that we didn't, that really deserved us like kind of going in depth? I feel my personal opinion, um, Black Star, but uh, we talked about this a little before when we were kind of putting together the notes for this episode. We we didn't include them because they're also a group from New York, and because we want to talk about Gangstar, we felt that it would be a little too similar. I'm not saying that both groups sound the same, but it's just we kind of wanted like different sounds from different cities or different regions, and because we already had a hip hop thing, or not hip hop, sorry, New York group, that it was like out of the question.
Definitely, definitely. If you didn't notice, yeah. So, Gangstar's from New York, Outkast from ATL, and Clips is from Virginia. So we kind of
Hmm.
wanted to give you different types of sounds from different types of cities.
Yeah.
Which, if you do know these groups, you know how different they sound. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is our favorites as well too. Like I said, like Kyle said, Black Star is also a favorite. I'm a Tyler fan. Kyle's a Most Def fan. Basically, we wanted to talk about hip hop duos because me and Kyle are
Want to do
a duo as well too.
doing this
So,
podcast thing,
yeah,
and
so it definitely makes sense.
also another group that we did we kind of like did a lot of homework on, and we listened to, of course, but it was Mob Deep.
No, dude, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely Mob Deep, but again, the whole New York thing. So yeah, I
Rest in peace.
mean, let us know. Like, we'll have this uploaded in YouTube probably in a day, and then you can follow us on SoundCloud too. It's Velo, and we'll have an edited version put on there. Um, we got a couple more episodes planned out. Lance, you want to give them a little hint? You want to let them know what to look out for, or do you just want to, surprise?
I'll give him a little hint. So basically, we got a couple of episodes coming up. One's about mental health in hip hop, which is a very touchy subject, but
Very
we would love to
important
talk
though.
about that for sure.
Yep.
And I think my personal favorite as well too, women in hip hop, how they are, how powerful they are in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? They're definitely looked over. We definitely have some other shit coming up.
Yeah.
Basically, we actually have our logo done. I don't know
Yeah,
if you want
we
to talk about
got
that.
yeah. So me and Lens, we've been trying to figure out how to kind of like grow this into a brand, I guess you could say, you know.
Mm,
And with COVID going on, you know, we thought like this was the perfect time. We got nothing but time to really work on this. So we're
exactly.
gonna have some merch coming out soon. We are collaborating with one of Lance's homies, Diana. Um,
Yeah, Dana Marie. Yeah,
yeah,
she's the one. She's the designer for our logo.
yeah,
So big shout outs to her. She actually made our dreams reality.
yeah.
So
Facts. It felt super official when you know we were talking about it, and she kind of like drafted up the designs and everything, and we saw it. So it's crazy, you know.
yeah, but yeah, you'll probably see our shirts. We have stickers as well too.
You know,
You'll probably see our shirts in the next episode.
yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully,
but we're trying to make this happen definitely. So I mean,
yeah,
if you can support, comment,
yeah.
you know, watch us, that would be definitely great. We're definitely trying to make this a thing, permanent thing. You know.
Yep. And so I got I got some of our socials or where they could find us to listen to us. You can either follow us on stream here on Twitch, or either you could follow me on YouTube at It's Vodo. Same thing with our SoundCloud. What about you, Lance? What socials can they follow you on where?
You can follow me on Instagram, ThizLance,
Mm-hmm.
or my Twitter, BBoy Silence. Those for you know me, BBoy Silence was my first ever Instagram thing, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really old. So
And I don't use Twitter, but I'm on Instagram. You can send me a request. Follow me at SenseiVo. You know, post a lot of shit on there too. So yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. This is it for the stream, but we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
peace out, man.
Yeah.